Nearby are a herd of pig-sized reptiles called Lystrosaurus, meaning shovel reptile. They're called that because they are equipped with small tusks, which they can use to dig up roots and tubers. They're also used as weapons when a male fights for a mate. The Lystrosaurus are reptiles, but they are not related to the dinosaurs. The difference between the dinosaurs and other reptiles is their leg structure. The giant extinct reptiles' legs are widespread in a crocodile-like position. The dinosaurs' leg structures are under their bodies. God gave them this kind of leg structure to allow them to move quickly over great distances without tiring. Lystrosaurus belongs to an extinct giant reptile family called Dicynodonts, which means two-dog tooth. But despite the name, they are not related to dogs. Most Dicynodont species like to be near the water. They are good swimmers, but they don't spend a lot of time in it. Based on the evidence, Lystrosaurus was the most successful reptile on Earth, for fossils of them were found in Africa, Europe, Asia, even the Antarctic and the Arctic. This suggests that all the Earth's continents were together, forming Pangaea. The Lystrosaurus continued to survive successfully until the Ice Age changed their habitat, causing them to go extinct. Placerias is the largest member of the Dicynodonts. God made him be as big as an ox. Like their cousins, the Lystrosaurus, the Placerias would use their tusks to dig for food and to fight. Since it's a big animal, the Placerias would have spent most of its life eating in order to fuel its large body. The Placerias would have ate club moss, fresh leaves, young shoots, low-level ferns, and tubers. God also made their beaks strong enough to slice through thick branches and roots. Fossils have shown that the Placerias might have spent much of its time relaxing in the water, like a hippo, and would feed on the bankside vegetation. Being at the water would have also given the Placerias some protection from predators that can't swim. Fossils have also shown the wear patterns on the Placerias' tusks. During the dry season, when there are less plants, the Placerias would dig for food such as buried roots and tubers with their tusks, but the ground would be hard and rough, causing deep grooves on them. But during the wet season, the ground would be wet and silty, which makes it easy to dig and would polish their tusks. The thundering stomps and the loud noises of the Placerias is disturbing an animal neighbor. But this neighbor happens to be their relative. This is Diictodon, the smallest of the Dicynodonts. He grows as big as a small cat. They live as pairs in deep burrows that can be 1.5 meters deep or deeper. The burrows can remain cool even in hot climates, but if it still feels warm, the Diictodon can dig deeper. There is an easy way to tell the difference between a male and a female. The males have longer tusks, while the females have shorter tusks. The tusks aren't used for digging. It's their 5-fingered claws that do the dirty work. Female Diictodons would usually stay underground to care for their young, while the males would go and get food. God gave the Diictodons powerful legs for speed, sharp claws, and a sharp beak to crop off leaves, roots, and branches. Even though Diictodons don't usually live as a colony, there is a big advantage to living in a crowd, for if a neighbor spots danger, such as this jackal, everyone soon knows about it. The Diictodon's burrow is so deep that no predator would be able to dig them out. Because of that, the jackal gives up and tries to find an easier meal. But there's no way he can take down a huge Placerias. There are many reptile species that are almost as big as dinosaurs, and they all came in different shapes and sizes. But not all of them are herbivores. There are some that are carnivores, like this huge Postosuchus. His name means after crocodile, and hence the name Postosuchus belongs to the crocodile family. But unlike his crocodile cousins, God made Postosuchus to be more of a land-based crocodile, which means he thrives more on land than in the water. But he can swim if he needs to. Postosuchus is a well-defended animal. His back is covered in a layer of thick armored plates, while his head has a number of solid bony projections. God had also made his feet flat and tucked his long straight legs underneath the body to help him run fast. Postosuchus' back legs are longer than the front legs, allowing him to rear up to 2 meters. When God made Postosuchus, he made their skulls to be massive and much taller than its width, and 8-centimeter long banana-shaped serrated teeth to crush melons and the coarsest vegetation. But after the fall of man, Postosuchuses became carnivores, and their jaws are also powerful enough to tear a man apart. Another giant carnivorous reptile is the Gorgonopsid. It's really called Inostrancevia, which was named after Alexander Inostrantsev, who was a Russian paleontologist who discovered it. It was as big as a rhino, had almost a wolf-like body, and hunts like a cat. But the Gorgonopsid is not a mammal. God made him as a reptile. God also made the Gorgonopsids to be suited to hot semi-desert environments. He also gave them acute eyesight so they can easily see at night. He also gave them a strong sense of smell, for once a Gorgonopsid smells food, it'll go for it. They can gallop at a top speed of 50 kilometers per hour to escape danger or quickly find a new place to be. Their teeth make them look like a reptile version of saber-toothed cats. The 2 saber teeth are 5 inches long, and they use them to cut plants and eat them. But the Gorgonopsids had later become carnivores, and they would use their teeth to stab and kill their prey quickly. Not only are Gorgonopsids dangerous to their prey, but they can also be dangerous to each other, depending on the mood. An adolescent male has come for the food. But this male is an adult, and he will not give up his food without a fight. Gorgonopsids are patient and unstoppable hunters, which makes them combat killing machines. The adult male wins, and the adolescent knows better than to fight him again, otherwise he could get himself killed. One of the most famous giant extinct reptiles is the Dimetrodon, meaning 2-measured tooth, which refers to the 2 sizes of teeth in his jaw. He has 2 canine-like fangs in the upper jaw, while the rest are pointed teeth, suggesting that God made them to tear up hard fruits and vegetables. But now that his kind has become carnivores, his teeth are not only powerful, but deadly. The obvious characteristic of Dimetrodon is his 4-foot-high sail, supported by rod-like extensions of the vertebra. God had made it for 2 purposes. One is to control his body temperature. In the cool mornings, the Dimetrodon would be cold and sluggish. He would get his body heat from the sun by turning his sail towards the sunlight. The heat boosting his sail will speed up the Dimetrodon's metabolism, allowing him to be an hour ahead ready than most animals would. But if he gets too hot, he can go under a shade and cool off. The other use is for display to rival off other Dimetrodons or attract a female. Long ago, Dimetrodons were thought to have been dinosaurs when they were first discovered. But their leg structure is more lizard-like, which means their legs are not under their bodies like dinosaurs are. Dimetrodons aren't the only reptiles to have sails. There are some dinosaurs that have sails on their backs. There's even some reptiles living today that have sails, such as the Crested Chameleon, the plumed basilisk, and the Philippine Sailfin lizard. Only he has his sail more on his tail than his back.